Hello, I'm Pat Rulo, and you've joined the most popular patient safety radio program on the air. And I'm so happy to be here to share what I know. Well, today we've stuffed the show with so much useful information, and I'm excited to get started. Later in the program, I'll be talking with Matt Lynch, the state of Ohio representative, about the current state of smart meters. And my friend and microwave radiation consultant, Sebastian Sanzotta, will join me as we talk with Matt. And after that, everyone's favorite pharmacist, Mary Sheehan, will return to play shocking news from around the world beyond the pill edition. So you know the drill. First, grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. You just might want to take notes today. Then sit back in your favorite comfy seat. Turn off that darned radiation-emitting cell phone. Who's calling anyway that it can't wait until later? And enjoy this next hour with me. I'm glad you're here. So let's get started, because right now it's time for the healthcare hazard of the week. Welcome to my hair fryer. No, I don't call it a fryer because of its ability to cause dry, damaged, and crispy hair. It's a fryer because of the extreme levels of magnetic field emissions caused by one of my favorite appliances, my purple hair dryer. So, without going into the scientifics about EMFs, suffice it to say, there are safe limits. In fact, a few weeks ago I had the author of the book EMF Freedom on the show, and she said that electromagnetic pollution, that's EMF, may be the most significant form of pollution human activity has produced in this century. The Office of Technology Assessment of the Congress of the United States. Oh, that's right, that was defunded and shut down because it actually made sense. Well, anyway, prior to that, they recommended a policy of prudent avoidance with respect to EMF. Prudent avoidance means to measure fields, determine the sources, and act to reduce exposure. Well, how are you expected to reduce exposure if you don't even know what you're exposed to? Here's where I come in. Recently, I purchased several EMF and microwave radio frequency detection meters. As far as electric-magnetic frequencies go, I learned that safe limits are generally classified under 4 categories: no concern, slight concern, severe concern, and extreme concern. Now, these levels are measured in something called a milligauss. A gauss, G-A-U-S-S, is the unit of measurement of a magnetic field, and it's named after a German mathematician, Karl Gauss. A milligauss, then, is 1/1000th of a gauss. Not that you need to know this, but just to give you some frame of reference. Anything with a reading of 5 milligauss and over is considered to be of extreme concern. Ideally, you want to be in an environment with 0 EMFs. However, we do need our modern conveniences. So what number is generally accepted as safe? Well, again, that depends if you are exposed for just a moment or if you are surrounded 24/7. Many experts say from 1 to 2.5 milligauss is the generally accepted limit of ELF magnetic field exposure. So come with me into my bathroom and let's have a look at my purple hair fryer. Yikes! My meter's going crazy. This purple monster is throwing out an amazing 300 milligauss or more. And hair dryers aren't the only culprits. The EMF exposure from heaters, electric shavers, and other appliances can be injurious to health over time. Food mixers and vacuum cleaners emit EMFs that are 30 to 100 times greater than the suggested safe limit. Ordinary household appliances tend to generate larger cumulative EMF exposure than power lines. The reason is proximity. Most of us do not live close enough to power lines to be greatly affected by their EMFs, but the situation is different with kitchen appliances, computers, cell phones, televisions, even electrical outlets if they're located behind the head of a bed. And although the EMFs from appliances drop off at a distance of about 16 feet, people often stand or sit closer than this to the source of EMFs, typically 18 inches from computers, a few feet from televisions, and almost no distance from cell phones. So what can you do to stay safe? First, need to detect the sources of EMF in your home and work environment. And second, work to diminish them. So let's talk about detection. You have to know where the sources of EMF are in your everyday world and how strong these sources are. Is there wiring in the wall behind your bed that you don't even know about? Is the vaporizer emitting strong fields in the baby's room? How much EMF are you and your family getting from the power lines in the street? Only a meter can detect that for you. Secondly, work to diminish your exposure to the EMFs you find. And remember, EMFs go right through doors and walls, so don't think you can put a bookcase in the room and it will block it. So first you can determine how far you must stay away from the EMF emitters in your home and work environment to achieve less than that 2.5 milligauss of exposure. Things like the microwave oven, your alarm clock, the computer, and so on. Secondly, you can rearrange your furniture, especially the beds, desks, and couches where you spend the most time, away from heaters and wiring and fluorescent lights, electric doorbells, and other EMF hotspots. And when you buy an appliance, know what you're buying and buy the lowest EMF emitter. And where practical, replace your electrical appliances with non-electric devices, such as I've replaced my electric alarm clock with a battery-driven clock. Then turn off, don't use, or throw out electrical appliances that you can do without. Again, no more microwave in my house. Now, the greatest concern about EMFs is not from a one-time use of a hairdryer or an hour in front of the computer, but from cumulative exposures, hour after hour, day after day, continuous high levels of EMFs. For example, people who travel extensively in airplanes can have high exposure rates, up to 85 milligauss in the airplane cabin. And if cell phones are now going to be allowed in the airplane cabin, you can expect that number to multiply exponentially. A unique type of EMF exposure is from electric blankets, which give you close-up exposure at high levels, from 50 to 100 milligauss all night long. According to noted brain researcher Russell J. Ryder, Ph.D., electric blankets are dangerous because they expose the whole body to EMFs. They are close to the body, and they are thought to lower melatonin levels. Because electric blankets are used at night, when the pineal gland is producing its highest amount of melatonin, they have the greatest chance of disrupting melatonin production and sleep. And we've talked about the importance of keeping your bedroom free from all electrical devices and cell phones because they are known to disturb melatonin production. So the bottom line, this is invisible stuff. You have no idea what's going on in your home because you can't see it, nor can you readily feel it. That is, not until the cumulative effects catch up with you. Or you may be feeling it now, but attributing it to stress, lack of sleep, and other medical problems. So in order to diminish your exposure, you first have to detect the source. And to do that, you can either purchase several handheld meters, or you can have someone come to your home who has these meters to go through the entire space with you to locate and offer suggestions on how to best lessen and avoid the dangerous sources. EMF meters show you what's invisible. Now you can actually quantify your exposure levels. And when you do this, you're not just acknowledging the problem, you're making an important first step towards facing up to reality. You're saying, these are the EMFs in my environment, and here's what I'm going to do about it. You know, I don't want to have to know about this. I'd rather be playing in the sand and sun somewhere tropical and breezy. But once a sensible person is made aware of such a life as we know it game changer, how utterly wrong and disappointing as a human being would I be if I did nothing to make it better? Awareness is the first step toward action. I do have access to these meters, and I will make myself available along with Healthy Home Consultants to come to your home to conduct this assessment for you. If you're interested, call me 440-725-5462 or email me at speak@speakupandstayalive.com. That's 440-725-5462. And here's my final warning. If I do come to your home, pardon my hair, I will not be using my purple hair fryer again. And with that, let's hear some legal news you can use. Let's spend the next 2 minutes with our friends at Schraff & King, They always have the answers. Well, David, Emily in Elyria wrote, can I still make my own healthcare decisions once I have created an advance directive?
Absolutely. When a healthcare directive is executed, while it goes into effect immediately, the individual signing that directive retains control over their own healthcare decisions. The document is intended to enable an agent to make decisions when and only when the individual signing it is not able to make those decisions for themselves. So as long as the individual can and is able to make their own decisions, they will still do so.
Oh, thanks for that great advice today, David. We appreciate your help. And if our listeners have more questions, where can they find you?
We can be reached by telephone at 440-585-1600, on our website at www.shrafking.com, or you can email us with some general inquiries at info@shrafking.com.
If you have not taken care of your advance directives, get it done today. Schraff & King. They're conveniently located on Somme Center Road in Willoughby Hills, just south of Route 6. Or you can always visit them online at schraffking.com. When it comes to chiropractic care, many people shy away and have anxiety about having their body contorted or their necks twisted. At Roediger Chiropractic, you can relax. Dr. Roediger uses a gentle, low-force chiropractic tool known as the activator to make adjustments along the spine. Listen as I spend the next 2 minutes with my friend, Dr. Tad Roediger. He's quick, easy, and painless. So, Dr. Roediger, what is the ultimate goal of a chiropractic adjustment?
Well, since there's 24 movable bones in the spine, and they stack on top of each other, and they protect the spinal cord, which is like the tail of the brain, it protects the spinal cord, and if the vertebrae in the spine get out of alignment, they can close down the openings that the nerves come out of off the spinal cord and impair those nerves and not allow those nerves to work at 100%. If those nerves don't work at 100%, wherever those nerves go will not work at 100%. Might be your arm and your fingers, might be the head causing headaches, might be the legs causing numbness or tingling down the legs, but it could be your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your intestines. So the goal of a chiropractic adjustment is to allow the nervous system to work as close to 100% as possible. Most insurances cover chiropractic. Most Medicare plans do cover chiropractic. In my office, the adjustments are just $36. The initial exam is $57, and that includes a set of x-rays and the surface EMG scanner and the exam and the interview with the patient and to go over the test results. And then after that, it's just $36. There's no other fees. Even re-exams are all included with the adjustment. If you've never thought about having chiropractic care, try it. Or get checked at least to see if it might be something that might benefit you. You never know what medical ailment it might help.
I encourage you to visit Dr. Roediger for a consultation. Call him for an appointment at 440-285-0756. Dr. Roediger is located in Chardon, Ohio at the Village Station, 401 South Street, just 1/2 mile south of downtown Chardon off of Route 44. Or you can always call him at 440-285-0576. After the show, be sure to visit the website speakupandstayalive.com for more life-saving information. Plus, that's where you can purchase the book, Speak Up and Stay Alive, the Patient Advocate Hospital Survival Guide. Bring the book to the hospital with you. It's the best way to stand out and in a positive way. And remember, we donate 2 handmade pillowcases to either a troop member in Afghanistan or to a local veterans shelter for every book sold with your name on it as the donor. So for a mere $20, you benefit, and so does some well-deserving warrior. Give a meaningful and useful gift that really says, I care. Give the gift of healthcare safety. Purchase the book, the patient safety logs, and throw in some of those icebreaker cards. You can order online at speakupandstayalive.com, or you can request by email at speakupandstayalive.com, or call me 440-725-5462. And now, back to the show. You're listening to Speak Up and Stay Alive Patient Safety Radio. I am your hostess, Pat Rulo, and we have one of our favorite guests with us today. He's been on the show before. It's Matt Lynch. He is the Ohio State Representative of House District 76. I can say so much more about him, but I think it'd be best if we just get him on the air because we have lots to talk about. And I have my friend Sebastian Sanzotta here in the studio with us as well. Hey, Sebastian.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Sebastian. Hi, Pat. So glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. All right, Matt, the big question on everyone's lips. What is going on with the smart meter bill in the state of Ohio?
Well, as you know, we introduced the smart meter bill late last year, just before the holidays, and actually House Bill 368, which is designed to give people protection against smart meters, and that it will allow them to opt out with no possibility of any surcharges or penalty fees attached. And we had our first hearing on that just 2 weeks ago, and it was what's referred to as sponsor hearing, where I'm able to describe to the Public Utilities Committee, which is hearing the bill, what the effect of the bill would be and what the importance of the bill would be. And we talked all about the liberty issues and the health issues that, of course, you've been so helpful with in identifying. And it was very well received by the committee. After my testimony, there was a question and answer period, and my sense from the committee was that they were very receptive to it. But I've already been contacted by representatives of the power companies who want to meet with me in order to change my mind on that bill. So I am looking forward to those meetings, but you can be certain that the utilities will be coming out strongly opposed to this legislation. And the very fact that they will oppose it gives you some indication about what they have in mind, because my bill actually would not change the status quo. And it is right now today, if they offer you a smart meter, you can say no, and there's no penalty associated with it. And if that was going to remain the status quo, then my law really wouldn't change anything. And the fact that they're going to oppose it tells you that they, in fact, anticipate that they will be able to, down the road, be able to actually charge people if they refuse a smart meter.
So right now, if a utility, let's say the electric company, comes and approaches someone at their home to replace their old analog meter with this considered smart meter, does the resident have the right to say, I don't want it, and that utility person will leave the premises, not put it on right now?
The answer is they should have that right, but it's not quite that simple. What is supposed to happen is that the consumer, the homeowner, is supposed to receive a letter advising them that they're going to get a smart meter, and often they actually get a notice on their door. And for those that don't even understand necessarily what a smart meter is, they mean very naively just allow it to happen and be no wiser. But for those that are tuned in and recognize this may not be something they want to do because of the invasion on their privacy or the threats to their health, they are given the opportunity in that notice to contact the power company and to tell them, no, they do not want a smart meter. Now, the difficulty has been that people make those calls saying they don't want it, but that message doesn't get down the line somehow to the installer, and so folks may come home a few weeks later and find they have a smart meter anyway. My daughter, who lives out here in Geauga County with me, told me the other day, and I had a discussion with them about smart meters some weeks ago, and she told me the other day that she's got a smart meter now, and she didn't realize that it was even being installed. She wasn't home during the day. It was installed, and now she has to go through the process of trying to get it removed. So in my case, for instance, I received a notice, and I immediately not only sent a registered mail letter to the power company saying, don't you dare put this in, but I printed off from the Internet a big red notice that's available on the Internet from various websites, and I taped it to my meter saying, no smart meter to be installed here, so that even if an installer shows up, theoretically they would know.
All right, so let's say that we did get the notice. It was thrown carelessly on the front porch, as mine was, and then it blows into the bushes, and the homeowner doesn't have an option to see that.
Yep.
They have this meter put in. Can they call the utility company and get it removed?
They can, but it's not going to happen overnight, that's for sure. I actually have a neighbor who had a smart meter installed, and she swears that ever since it was installed, the birds refused to come to her bird feeder nearby, and she's very concerned about that. And when she looked into smart meters and saw the various postings on the Internet, she responded by saying, I want that thing out of here, and contacted the power company weeks ago, and they have yet to remove it. So it is It should happen eventually because they cannot compel you to have a smart meter. But like anything else, you have to be somewhat aggressive and aware and stand up for yourself. You have no problem doing that, Pat, I know.
No, invite me over.
Not everyone has a 50,000 watt megaphone like you do, so.
Well, I think it's important for the people out there listening to understand that in Ohio, this is the preliminary stage for smart meter rollout. This is actually late in the game nationwide. I think there's 11 other states that have already been through this and succeeded in passing opt-out legislation. So people need to understand that the time is now to put the protective legislative process in action.
Right.
Because they can call and have the meter removed at this time doesn't mean that a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road, they won't have that option. So what Representative Lynch is doing right now is extremely important. And thank you so much, Matt. You're my hero. I mean, you're the champion of all of Ohio right now, and most people don't know it.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate that. But, Sebastian, you know that I only became aware of this issue because of folks like you and Pat that bring it to my attention. I am absolutely dependent upon my constituents and citizens to bring these things to my attention so that I can be made aware. There's a lot going on all over the country and certainly in Ohio. And we have to be made aware by the citizens that pay attention on a day-to-day basis. So I'm happy to do my part as your representative. The reason that it's important to do it now is because it will be a situation where you either won't be able to opt out or you'll be penalized if you opt out. And there is actually PUCO regulations that have been proposed that would do exactly that. That is, they would penalize you if you choose to opt out of the smart meters.
All right. Now, we're talking about the smart meter with the electric company. What about gas and water, which they consider is the one-way meter?
My bill, which is broader than just the power company. Now, as best as I know, it's only the power company so far that's actually installing so-called smart meters with a two-way communication. And this bill is designed to focus on that exclusively. That is the two-way communication meter, so-called smart meter, and it would cover other utilities. It would cover water or gas or any other public utilities. But it would not cover those other meters that have been around for a long, long time already, which is that, I don't know, how do you refer to those, Sebastian, as remote read meters?
AMR is the technical term. And for the gas company, the Itron Model 100G is the most common one out there. And, Pat and I have these little detection meters, and we've personally seen how these things are emitting microwave RF at all times, and it goes right through your whole house. So from that angle, as a health hazard, they're as big an offender as a smart meter. And unfortunately, they seem to be slipping through the cracks as far as not being noticed. And what's interesting is if you look at the actual manufacturer's literature that they provide to the utility companies, they paint these meters in a light of not emitting that much radiation. They'll say, it only emits a few minutes a day, a couple minutes a day. But if you read it really closely, it's in fact emitting all the time, except it's what they call for milliseconds. Milliseconds.
That's right. I compare it to, even though it's a very brief burst of energy or broadcast, it's constant, really.
It's constant.
It's a constant 24/7. And I compare it to, and people will say to you, well, it doesn't do any harm. But I say, well, if I put my hand under a faucet and the water runs on my hand for even a couple of minutes, there's no harm. But if I leave my hand under that water 24/7 for a month, I won't have a hand left.
Exactly.
And that is the concern. Now, of course, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a physician, but there's a certain practical reality there that I recognize. And it's of great concern to me. As Pat and I have talked about before, my wife is a breast cancer survivor. I never let her walk through the airport scanners. So why in the world would I let her be bathed 24 hours a day with even a slight amount of radiation in my own home?
Yeah. And one thing I found with my research with the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio is that when they authorize a company to manufacture a certain type of equipment, the wording is made as such that it's like a blanket authorization so that they can start out with that equipment, but down the road, as they need to change or replace it or upgrade, they're allowed to put whatever they want. So I know in regard to the Itron gas meters, they started out with the model 40G, which supposedly went into sleep mode when not being pinged by the meter reader.
Right.
But less than a year later, they upgraded to the 100G, which constantly emits radiation. And legally, they were allowed to do that by the PUCO rulings. So I wrote a letter and complained, and the response was, look at this, such and such state code, and it's legal. They're allowed to do it. Tough.
And the next fight would be then to roll back the use of these other devices.
Yeah.
And as you know, this is an educational effort because it's not just these meters. It's also our wireless internet, and it's our all these it's our cell phones. We have to make sure that people, at the very least, are aware of the danger so that they can avoid it if they choose to do so.
Absolutely.
And of course, the next job is for us to educate the committee. That's why further hearings will be very important to have, frankly, both of you come down to Columbus and other members of the public to tell their experiences and their insights about the use of these smart meters and educate the committee. I mean, the committee is legislators, and they're no more educated on a particular topic than you or I, maybe less so. And therefore, we have to bring them up to speed, and that's our job.
All right. We are prepared to do that for you. So you can,
I know you are, and I appreciate it.
Yes,
We'll be there.
We will be there.
Well, one of the positive steps here is that Senator Chris Jordan over in the Senate has also introduced a sister bill, if you will, to my smart meter bill, because any legislation has to go through both the House and the Senate. But often when legislation is sorely needed, as here, you will have a senator and a representative essentially simultaneously propose the same law. And that means that those hearings can proceed simultaneous to the House hearings, and if both bodies then vote it out, then it can go directly to the governor, so that the process can move much more quickly. I mean, my hope is that both Senate and House hearings will be concluded late this year, and we will get it voted out and sent it to the governor before the end of this year.
All right, excellent. Speaking of Senator Jordan, does he need anyone to come and testify at any hearings?
I have no doubt that he would welcome your testimony. I will make sure that I put you in touch with him.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Matt, how can folks learn more about you? How can they reach out to you and support you?
They can always go to mattlynch.com, where there's all kinds of information about me, but also a connection to get on my email list where they can catch information, or they can go to the Ohio House of Representatives and just search under Representatives for Matt Lynch, and they can reach me there as well. And I'd be happy, of course, to answer questions about this or any other topic.
Excellent. You are our hero.
Yes, you are,
well,
Matt.
Thank you, Pat and Sebastian. Really, I couldn't do it without your support and help, and I really do appreciate it.
Well, folks, it's Matt Lynch, the Ohio State Representative, House District number 76. Please reach out to him. He's on our website, speakupandstayalive.com. You can hear his past segments, and if you can't reach him, reach me, and I'll reach him.
Very good.
Matt, it's awesome.
Pat, I so appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
I'll see you all soon.
All right, thank you. Let's spend the next 2 minutes with my friend, Jack Warren from Comfort Keepers, a local and reputable senior home care service. Well, Jack, what services do you offer to assist family members with the difficult but necessary conversation about driving?
It's difficult to start this conversation with your parents. One of the last bastions of independence is our ability to drive. And we need to be honest with ourselves. If we have some shortcomings, we need to express them to our families and admit, I'm sorry, I can't drive at night anymore. I'm sorry, but I shouldn't be driving in heavy traffic. You need to be honest with yourself, because it's not only your safety that's at risk, it's also a number of other people who are out on the road with you, or pedestrians. So we have a small program that we call Beyond Driving with Dignity. And it's a conversation that I can have with an elderly person who is still driving to see if it's time to retire from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. And if we can help you make that transition smoothly. We don't want you to give up independence. We want you to still have the same freedoms that you once had. We just find a different way to coordinate it.
And be safe at the same time.
And be safe at the same time, absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Jack. We look forward to your weekly advice.
Thanks, Pat.
Be sure to contact my friend Jack Warren from Comfort Keepers, a certified Beyond Driving with Dignity professional. He knows how to ensure a smooth and successful transition from the driver's seat to the passenger side. For more information or to schedule a free in-home consultation, call them toll-free, 866-942-1960. Or you can visit them online at comfortkeepers.com. And be sure to let them know that I sent you. Comfort Keepers, keeping the comforts of home.
We were surprised when Dad brought up hospice care. I thought you called when you were all out of options, but Hospice of the Western Reserve has been helping care for Dad for some time now. I'm so glad we called when we did. Their support has given us quality time I'll remember forever.
With Hospice of the Western Reserve, you can choose when, where, and how you receive care. Discover why the hospice of choice is Hospice of the Western Reserve at hospiceofchoice.org.
April will be here soon. Get your taxes done early. Ebert Financial Group is a Chardon, Ohio-based full-service accounting firm that uses its experience and knowledge to provide first-class accounting, tax, payroll, and consulting services to individuals and closely held businesses. Don't miss important deductions. Maximize your refund. Call Jim Ebert at Ebert Financial Group for a free consultation. 440-285-2060. That's 440-285-2060.
One, two.
Good.
Participant number one. Contestant number one.
Door number one.
Door number one.
All right, you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. You're listening to Speak Up and Stay Alive Patient Safety Radio. I am your hostess, Pat Rulo. Now, you can join us every Saturday morning in Cleveland, Ohio, and in Phoenix, Arizona, and on Sunday mornings on an additional 22 stations. So if you have a friend or a family member who would like to hear this show on their local station, it's easy. Have them call their local talk radio program director, and they can pick up the show from the XDS Cumulus satellite. You can check the speakupandstayalive.com website for details. That's where you will also find a link to all of the previous programs and where you can buy the book, Speak Up and Stay Alive, The Patient Advocate Hospital Survival Guide. Well, today we have a very special guest or two joining the boys to play one of their fave games. And what is it, Bob?
Shocking news from around the world.
Okay, it gets crazy here, folks. Joining us today is the fabulous Mary Sheehan, a pharmacist and owner of Prescriptions for Happiness, where she helps people on an individual basis to find the solutions to whatever is in their way. She can prescribe the right dose of happiness, and in her honor, we pulled a special edition out of the Game Chamber. It is Shocking News from Around the World Beyond the Pill edition. So welcome to our seemingly random, foolish portion of the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And who else do we have here? Your husband came with you, and your name?
Yes, my name is Mike.
Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You might not think that once we're all done, but we'll see, right?
It's perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
You want me to say something?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Bob, a former financial planner from Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yay, Bob. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And who else do we have?
And I'm Eric. I'm a regionally famous radio producer from Northeast Ohio.
Regionally famous.
Hey.
Yeah.
Where do you find
and
that?
he has a mole rat as a pet.
Well,
Really?
it's a plushie.
That's interesting.
It is interesting, and we will go there later, trust me. All right, guys, here's how it goes. I will read a Beyond the Pill related question, and you have to decide if it is true, which we call a shock.
Wow.
And if you think it's false, you'll say it's a crock.
Oh.
So
Okay.
is it a shock or is it a crock? All right, is everyone ready?
Let's go for it.
Ready.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here's the Speak Up and Stay Alive shocking news number one. The World Health Organization says that between 30 and 50% of medicines prescribed for long-term illnesses are not taken as directed. Is that a shock or is it a crock?
That's the expert.
That's a shock.
Okay.
Yeah, or it's higher, or it's even higher.
Okay. Bobby,
I'm going to say it's a shock. Definitely a shock.
what do you think? Mike?
Shock. I agree.
Yep. Eric?
Shock.
Oh, gosh. Was that easy or you guys just smart?
That
right?
was easy.
All right.
Smart. You're smart.
Both.
It is a shock. Wow. And Mary, I think that speaks to what you were all about, that adherence would improve. I think if doctors and pharmacists took some time to get to know the patient as a person and explain the hows and whys of their medication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that make sure they're getting the benefits out of them. The patient should make sure they're getting the benefits, and the provider should make sure they're explaining what they're supposed to get out of them.
All right. And if they're not, the patient can ask, right?
Absolutely. Right. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that was good. All right, the Speak Up and Stay Alive shocking news number 2. According to a study at Ohio State University, more than 70% of older adults use some form of alternative medicine. Is that a shock or is it a crock?
I'm going to say it's a shock. I'm reaching that age slowly, and I'm going to say it's a shock.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I think people are, especially when they get a certain age, they're looking, they have the money, they have the time, and they want to kind of see what else is out there.
Nope, I disagree. It's a crock. That's too much work.
What do you think, Eric?
I'll just say it's a crock.
We're split.
I don't know why.
It's a split decision.
It is.
It is.
2-2.
2 shocks and 2 crocks. Guess what? It's true. It's a shock.
Wow.
Sorry, boys.
I know my people. They love their alternative medicine.
The survey asked about the use of 6 types of alternative medicine: chiropractor, acupuncture, massage therapy, breathing exercises, herbal medicine, and meditation. And the most commonly used form of alternative medicine was chiropractor, which was about 43% of respondents. And acupuncture was the least used. Thought that was interesting.
It is. I'm shocked that they still consider chiropractic alternative.
I know.
My goodness, it feels so mainstream to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing about it is finally they're paying for it through insurance and Medicare. They didn't do that alone.
Right.
For years.
So in that,
so it should be mainstream.
Considered mainstream.
Right.
It shouldn't even be in that category.
But they're still saying it's alternative.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you might have been right.
If we took chiropractic out of there, you would have been right.
Then it would have been a crock.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, we have Dr. Roediger from Chardon, Ohio. He's a chiropractor. He's on our show all the time, and he'll be glad to hear this.
Yeah, that we think he's mainstream.
Yes.
He's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone should have a chiropractor.
I agree.
I love mine.
All right, guys, Speak Up and Stay Alive shocking news number 3. A study that examined the effects of placebos on patients suffering from irritable bowel syndrome. It separated the patients into 3 groups. The first received no treatment. The second received a placebo, which was fake acupuncture using a retractable needle. And the third received the same placebo. But the third was administered by a practitioner who was highly caring, empathetic, and confident. The proportion of patients reporting relief was 28% to the people that got nothing, 44% for the fake acupuncture, and 62% with the fake acupuncture but the nice doctor. Is that a shock or is it a crock?
Oh, that's totally a shock. I mean, we have such an influence as healthcare providers on our patients. If we would only tap more into that power, what we could do. Yeah.
That's Mary's thoughts. What do you think, Bobby?
I'm saying it's a shock, too.
No, I believe it's a shock. I think there's more about it's not how much you know, it's how much you care.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
good. All right.
Oh, honey, can I steal that? That's
Uh-oh.
great.
He must live with you.
Yeah, that's great.
I was influenced
No, that's good
by her
stuff.
prescriptions for happiness.
Exactly. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I'll say it's a shock. The combination of the power of suggestion and just the general positive feelings from the good bedside manner. Yeah, shock.
That's nice.
Absolutely. It is a shock. It is true.
Wow.
Placebos frequently elicit improvements among patients, possibly by triggering what they say is a release of dopamine in the brain. But what was unusual about this study was that the relationship influenced the response. Now consider that 100 million Americans suffer from chronic pain. Many become addicted to painkillers. So the question becomes, could more caring doctors bring therapeutic benefits to some of them?
Oh my gosh, you know what? With the next prescription of Percocet I give out, I'm going to give a hug.
Oh.
I do try to send out love when I give the pain pills because, we give out so many.
I want you to be my pharmacist.
I would love to be I'd love to be everyone's pharmacist.
She's everyone's pharmacist. All right, guys, we did good. Speak Up and Stay Alive shocking news number 4. All Western nations, with the exception of New Zealand, Canada, and the United States, have historically banned direct advertising of pharmaceuticals to consumers, such as we see thousands of times on TV. Is that a shock or is it a crock?
Wait, if we see it on TV, does that mean that would be a crock? Because that means it's being advertised?
Yeah, just the fact that it's on TV is a crock. All right, we got a crock.
I'm going to go with the crock.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a shock.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a shock. But I'm not sure about Canada. I know U.S. can do it, and I know New Zealand can. I thought they were the only two countries that allow direct-to-consumer drug advertising on TV.
And you are right.
Yeah.
And that's where we caught you in the Crocs are, oh, Crocs were right.
Yeah, that's what kind of,
Yeah.
like, Canada.
They got us.
She knows what she's saying. It is a crock because it's only New Zealand and the good
Right.
old US of A, thanks to the FDA, that allow this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our friend Wheeler.
Yep. And it works. In 2008, the House Commerce Committee found that every $1,000 spent on drug ads produces 24 new patients. And a 2003 research report found that prescription rates for drugs promoted with direct-to-consumer ads were nearly 7 times greater than those without such promotions.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty huge, isn't it?
It is. Money well spent on the part of the drug companies.
Absolutely. Also, a professor of family medicine at the Case Western Reserve University, and this was printed in the New York Times, so it must be true. In the case of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, it's a prime example of how all too often a pill substitutes for more human response to distress. U.S. clinicians prescribe stimulant medications for ADHD at a rate of 25 times that of their European counterparts. I'm sure you knew that.
Yes. I give out so many of those prescriptions. I do, and I feel so torn sometimes because I'm sure in some instances it's really valid, but I think in others they just need some skill learning that they just were never taught, and the parents need the skills.
Yes.
Yeah, in some instances, or something with the educational system. There's so many things that could be at play, but I think it's just so tempting for that quick fix.
So parents listening to you, if they've got children where, maybe they're on the brink of considering this type of thing, it might be really smart for them to call you and have a conversation.
Just like a half an hour.
Yeah.
And
we'll just talk it out. There's some other way to sort through this rather than drugging our children.
Yeah, just get some perspective.
Oh,
and if they do decide to,
idea.
just to get some perspective, that's all.
Give us your number.
330-592-5793.
And we're going to give it again, so everyone grab your pencils and hold on to them. All right, here is the final Speak Up and Stay Alive shocking news. Forgive me. Better known as the Naked Mole Rat Minute.
Yay.
Oh, gosh.
Why do we do this? Because you need to know.
Oh.
Yes. And because the Naked Mole Rat is this show's superhero of sorts. And he was, you might not know this, he was named the vertebrae of the year 2013.
How
the naked
odd.
mole rat?
Did not know that.
Yes.
The naked mole rat does not get cancer.
Then we should get to know him better, I think.
We are.
We are
good. That's good.
So we are going to pay homage to this saber-toothed sausage-looking creature. Here it is, guys. Adding to their super survival powers, researchers have discovered that the mole rats do not feel chronic pain. There is also their brain's ability to bounce back in oxygen-deprived conditions. Is this a shock or is it a crock?
So they don't have the ability to feel pain?
They don't. And they can live in oxygen-deprived conditions and then restore themselves from that. Is that a shock or is it a crock?
It's a shock. I've heard this one before.
That I just can't imagine there's a creature that's a vertebrate that can't feel pain.
Yep.
Wow. But Bob already gave the answer, so I'm going to have to say it's a shock because I don't think Bob's trying to trick me over here.
No.
There's strategy involved.
Well, I think maybe he is, so I'm going to say.
Oh, Eric.
Eric knows all about the mole rat.
I already know that the naked mole rat is that awesome, so definitely a shock.
Wow. We talk about the naked mole rat every week. Like I said, Eric introduced us to the naked mole rat, and this is just an incredible creature. Listen to this. Okay. Researchers are studying this trait, which they say the whole oxygen thing, because it could be the key to helping humans find better ways to treat stroke and heart attack. It turns out that their brains act much like the brains of human babies. The survival secret, though, is the way the brain regulates calcium. Their brain cells have special calcium channels that close during oxygen deprivation, protecting the brain from cell death. The brains of human babies can do this too, but as we age, then these channels no longer stay open, they close. So that can be a problem during a heart attack when oxygen is deprived. Understanding this process could lead to a fast-acting medication given to help protect the brain during an emergency.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess if I suffer a heart attack, I'm going to hit the ground. I want the EMS guys to come and give me something to help me be more like the naked mole rat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Preserve your brain. You might need it when you recover.
Exactly.
When you wake up.
Yeah.
In other research, Eric, and I know you'll find this interesting, scientists have now found that we share 178 unique gene families with the mole rat. Like, who knew this?
Naked mole rat!
So the key is to find pathways that make the rats age better and stay cancer-free, and then find ways to help humans do the same.
Wow.
Can you imagine someday you will be dispensing a medication based on the naked mole rat.
Naked mole rat.
The naked mole rat.
That would be interesting.
Naked mole rat.
And still some advice. I'm sure that whatever medication that needs, there would still be some advice that has to go with it, right?
Exactly.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, today's Beyond the Pill edition was popping with interesting tidbits. This is what we learned. We learned that up to 50% of folks don't use their medications properly. 70% of older adults use alternative medicine, such as chiropractic services. Placebo medicine just might work if the provider is empathetic. The U.S. and New Zealand love TV drug ads. And finally, our favorite oxygen-deprived naked mole rat just might hold, everyone's laughing, the secret to long life. So I have to ask, as I do every week, and Eric always has the answer, on what other patient safety radio show will you find this type of illuminating information?
None.
What other patient safety radio show is there?
There's not one.
Oh my goodness, that was a trick question.
Bob, thank you for being here
You're
today.
quite welcome. I'm glad I came.
Eric, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike, thank you for
You're welcome.
sharing your wisdom with us. And Mary, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Yes, this was great fun.
Thank you. And folks, be sure to contact Mary to discuss any issues you may be having in your life that need an understanding conversation. Many times, an educated and friendly person with heart is the best medicine. And this gal is a sweetheart.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Mary Sheehan, Prescriptions for Happiness. Call her at 330-592-5793 or visit her website, prescriptionsforhappiness.com. And folks, don't go anywhere. There's so much more you can learn on America's favorite and maybe only patient safety radio show, Speak Up and Stay Alive Radio. And that's a wrap, guys.
You got it.
Wow.
Yay.
That was awesome. Oh my God.
Relax and rejuvenate your body and spirit at the luxurious Solia Spa. Listen as I spend the next 2 minutes with beauty expert and owner of Solia Spa, Lisa Stewart, located in Brecksville, Ohio. Bob and I visited your lovely spa.
Yes.
Solia Spa last week, and we so enjoyed our time together and want to share some of our conversations that we had with everyone today. Many people think of a spa as something decadent and a treat and something for the rich and famous, but really there are many health-related benefits versus cosmetic only. And being that this is a healthcare program, let's talk about why a regular visit to your spa is vital for good health. And let's start off with some of the benefits of having a massage on a regular basis.
Massage it's important to our bodies. First of all, it's de-stressing. And so many of us are just nonstop going every day, even on our days off, not taking any time out for ourselves. Taking time out for ourselves, whether that is reading a newspaper, sitting down, having a cup of tea, whatever it is, just to take a moment to ourselves and honoring ourselves to just really de-stress. We're just constantly go, go, go. And what a massage will do for you is and facials too, but most importantly, massages will increase your circulation. It's going to enhance your immune system. It's going to promote your nervous system to function better. It's going to reduce blood pressure, relieve pain and muscle tension, to increase muscle tone. It's excellent for people that are suffering from fibromyalgia, any kind of arthritis, diabetes, and also migraines too. It's just de-stressing, and I can't stress that word enough. It's just important just to take 1 hour a month and just honor yourself.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I'm ready right now.
Me too.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for making the world a better looking and healthier place.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Visit Solia Spa, located at 6909 Royalton Road, Brecksville, Ohio, or call them at 440-526-0522. And be sure to visit their website, soliaspa.com. Well, folks, before we go, let me invite you to attend my next speaking event. Everyone is invited. It is free, and it is sponsored by the Traditional Family Values Coalition. It will be on Tuesday, February the 25th at 7:00 p.m. at the St. Stephen Catholic Church. Tuesday, February 25th, 7:00 p.m. at the St. Stephen Catholic Church, and that's located at 1930 West 54th Street in Cleveland. West 54th Street in Cleveland. 1930 West 54th Street in Cleveland. There's a parking lot off West 57th Street, north of Lorraine Avenue. And again, you don't have to be a member of that group to attend. It's open to everyone and it's free. And I would love to meet you. Again, Tuesday, February 25th at 7:00 p.m., St. Stephen Catholic Church, 1930 West 54th Street in Cleveland. And I hope to see you there. And let me remind you, if you're looking for a speaker for your next event, I am happy to share my expertise with your group. We can focus on patient safety and healthcare and hospital hazards, or any other variation on healthcare, including the effects of smart meters, cell phones, and other technological gizmos. My presentations are always fun, fast-paced, and full of information that you will not find anywhere else. So contact me and let's talk about how we can make your next event a memorable and worthwhile experience. Call me at 440-725-5462, 440-725-5462. Or you can email speak@speakupandstayalive.com. Include Speak Up and Stay Alive in your 2014 plans. Your audience will thank you. And let's take a moment to thank all of our radio sponsors and weekly guest experts, because thanks to them, we are here, and that helps keep you safe and me safe. We have Schraff & King, attorneys for all of your advanced planning needs. Dr. Tad Roediger, Roediger Chiropractic. Hospice of the Western Reserve. Jack and Bonnie Warren of Comfort Keepers. Junction Auto Family, where I buy my cars. Hari Khalsa, the Healthcare Whisperer. Mary Sheehan, Prescriptions for Happiness. Lisa Stewart, Solia Spa. And our newest, Ebert Financial, Tax Preparation Expert. This is a first-class group of people, folks, and I encourage you to support them, and you can find their information at the SpeakUpandStayAlive.com website. And be sure to come back next week. Lots more to share with you. Until then, I hope you have a healthy and a happy week. I am Pat Rulo, and I am your guide to safe and successful healthcare and hospital encounters.
The information provided in today's broadcast is for informational purposes only and was not intended for use as diagnosis or treatment of a health problem and should not be considered as medical advice. Want even more information? Purchase a copy of Pat's book at speakupandstayalive.com. Once again, it's speakupandstayalive.com. Or you can call Pat at 440-725-5462. Until next week, remember, it's okay to ask others to wash their hands. You have to speak up and stay alive.